Welcome, friends. It's Miss Gisa, and today we have a very special guest, author and illustrator, Kesia Eng. Welcome, Kesia.
Thanks for having me, Gisa.
Thanks for being here. We're so excited to have you share your book with us today, Baby Bao at Dim Sum. After reading your book and seeing the connection you have with your family through traditional Chinese dim sum meals, I can't help but see the similarities between your family and my immigrant Italian family, who also have traditional big meals. And I was really surprised that you guys also fight over the bill. That was just my crazy family. I think so many of us can identify with sitting around a table, sharing food, whether it's dinner time or holidays, and just the importance of family. I just wanted to tell everyone I found you on Kickstarter. I like to support new authors that way. And there was something about your book that really caught my eye and got me really excited. And that is your gorgeous and just adorable illustrations. Can you explain to us, how did you make these, and are they even called illustrations?
Absolutely. I'm so happy to talk about all of it. So good. I love your question because I can definitely elaborate a little bit more on it. I have the book with me as well. So for the viewers, readers seeing this, if you're looking at it and you're looking at it close up, you can see that the illustrations are really photographs. So I know some movies you might see involve stop motion movies, where the designers have to build the sets and then hand make everything from their hands with just materials that they have. And so that's what I did here in all of the pages here and all the different settings that you see. I had to hand make and build the sets from construction paper, cardboard, just materials lying around in my house. And all the characters that you see here, I also had to hand make them. These specifically, I had to sew. So I learned how to sew to make these characters. I used felt and everything. And then all the little dishes that you see here on the cover, I also had to hand make these as well with clay and paint. I handmade 95% of basically all the characters and settings in this book. And a lot of the materials were just like old scraps of fabric lying around the house. I could even talk about this table right here. This is actually my dad's old white shirt that he didn't need anymore. And my mom was like, you can take it. So I was like, amazing. That's the perfect white shade I need for the table.
Kesia, that's incredible. I was just like, what? How did she do this? I didn't look drawn. So what are the bows made out of? They're made out of felt?
Yes, so they're made out of a felt, the white felt, and inside I just stuffed it. So it's kind of like a mini plushie. And I learned all of this on how to sew and everything online. So I definitely, from this book, I have a new skill of sewing.
That's incredible. That's incredible. How long did that take you?
It took a while, and I would say making everything here, I think took a few months. Also because I had to go back and forth to the craft store and home just to make sure I got the right shade that I want, the right materials. Maybe if I didn't get enough material the first time, I had to go back.
Right.
And yeah, but I have it, it's done. And all of them, when I built the sets and everything, I positioned the characters and then just took a bunch of photographs and was able to pick which one I liked the best. So all of the pages here are photographs of the built sets.
And you also photographed the sets.
Yes, good question too, because I had to learn how to use a camera, like a more professional camera. I had to learn how to use that. I learned more about lighting and everything. So I was a photographer. I was a light person. I don't know the more professional name for that, but I did that. There was one photo where I had my dad help out on where I had to tell them to just hold the light, like hold the lamp very still, be very still. But other than that, yeah, I had to do lighting, camera, and the photo editing also to bring out the colors.
Wow, that's impressive. And you also ran a successful Kickstarter, which from speaking to other authors who have done that, I hear is like a full-time job.
Pretty much, yes. I was very fortunate to have super supportive family, friends, and also people who've shared it to their friends and family. And I think what really helped was the Kickstarter staff had chose it as a projects we love, which is basically their version of like
Yeah.
their staff pick. And
Yeah.
my book was featured on the front page of the children's section on the Kickstarter website. And so I think that really kind of boosted the exposure of the project. And so for that, I'm so fortunate. And just super incredibly thankful for everyone. But it definitely is something that takes time and energy to do. And if it's not fully funded, you don't get to, I would say, fulfill the project. At least you would have to find some other way to fulfill it. So it's like an all or nothing kind of bet. So the stakes are kind of a little bit high.
Okay, so you chose these Baos as the main characters. What makes Baos just so incredibly adorable?
Absolutely. I think from the artist's perspective, I think it's so easy to just put a different facial expression on a blank canvas. So I would say from the artist expression, from the artist side. From the viewer and from the reader, I think they're just so cute. Like they have this chubby kind of like face. They're just round, and all the different facial expressions you see them do.
Right.
It's just so cute. I think
They are.
super round, fluffy, like a very cute puppy almost.
These are definitely the cutest Baos I've ever seen.
Thank you.
They really are. They really are. I was wondering if any part of the Baos as characters were inspired by the Pixar short film Bao.
Some would say that the short was actually based on my book.
Okay, I love that.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's what my friends say though. But no, like all credits to the creator of that short. But I would say in terms of inspiration, I don't feel like a lot of the inspiration for this book drew from that. But I could definitely see the similarities, mainly because I think the cultural background of the creative director for the Bao and like the story writer for Bao is the same as mine. So I think when I look at the parents in the Bao short, they look a lot like my parents, and I can definitely see that when I have like the glasses on I see the glasses on one of the Baos in the short, and I know there's like the dad in here also has glasses.
Yes.
But I think it's probably because like her dad and my dad probably look the same wearing glasses too.
That's right.
Yeah, but I definitely see the similarities, and I absolutely love that short. Like I watched it in the movie theaters with my mom, and we absolutely cried when we saw it.
Yeah, it was adorable. Adorable. Does your character, Baby Bao, represent someone specific, either yourself or a sibling or a cousin that you had that maybe needed to get a little older before they realized the value of a family meal, especially, while being surrounded by our American culture?
Yes, I think that's such a great question because, and I think this is the first time I'm also mentioning it here, but the protagonist, Baby Bao, is actually about myself. So I'm writing about myself in this book mainly. The realization that he comes to in this book, where he stops focusing on kind of what he wants, thinking that he doesn't like dim sum for ABC reason. And he realizes that after seeing his family selflessly love one another, and he sees that dim sum is actually about spending time with the family, not about, what he wants or what he needs, is really a reflection of my own internal realization about my culture and my family. I think the two biggest things that spurred on this revelation is one, just being in college. And when you're in college, I went to UCLA, and so even though I was not too far away from home, I lived in the dorms and my family was here at home. So being in the dorms, I definitely was not getting, I guess, the small acts of love that my parents would do each day and that I really took for granted. So stuff like my mom would come in and give me like a bowl of fruit while I'm doing homework or while I'm studying. Um, or she would make sure that things were a little bit more tidy around the house. And I definitely, when I was in college, it was very clear to me that those are the things that I actually really took for granted. Um, and the second thing is how I think I think growing up in the US and more of like an individualistic cultural mindset, it's easy to focus on yourself and maybe focus on what you want and what you love, and more about yourself than other people. And I think the East Asian culture really focuses more on the communities, very community oriented values.
Yes.
And so definitely seeing that. And I realized that for a really long time, I was growing up, I think I was a little bit frustrated and also sad at times when my parents wouldn't say they loved me or they were proud of me. And I realized in college that maybe I was too focused on what I wanted and how I wanted my parents to love me, but I wasn't really focusing on how my parents already showed me how they chose to love me, which is typically acts of service, where the giving, a bowl of fruit to me, like that's my mom's way of saying I love you and I care for you. Or my dad would drive me to school each morning, even when I was late to school, still driving me. That was his way of saying, I love you. So
Yes.
to them, I think it's very apparent that they didn't need to say, I love you or I care about you, but rather to them, they showed how they care and love for me. But I was too focused on how come you don't say it. And I was expecting them to
Yes.
love me the way that I wanted to. And I was being, I think, selfish in that regard. So coming back to full circle about the protagonist here, Baby Bao, it's really about me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can identify with so much that you said. Are your parents immigrants or is it your grandparents?
Yeah, my parents.
Yeah, yeah. I can identify with a lot of what you just said. So that's interesting. And yeah, I think it's the maturity, right? And then you just realize as you get older, just everything that they've sacrificed and done for you, even though they're not maybe saying it. Um,
Absolutely.
what is your personal favorite uh, page or pages in the book?
Ooh, I can definitely say which one it is. So my favorite page is actually this one right here, where Baby Bao is in his bedroom and he's making like a mess of the bedroom. And I can say why this is my favorite. Mainly, it's because of the puns that you see in the book. Um, like one of them, this one says picture of durian gray. This one says a tale of two kanjis. And this picture, I definitely wrote it for my older readers and also the parents who are reading this book with their young ones too. I wanted this to be a fun book where not only kids can learn about the dim sum like culture and East Asian culture and especially the food, but also something that I wanted parents to have fun reading as well. And so this page is definitely for them.
Yes,
So I had so much fun creating the puns and everything.
I love it. Keisha, just adorable.
Thank you.
I really, really, my favorite parts of the story are the parts, just all of the acts of love that are found throughout the meal. It's just heartwarming.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it really, when I was thinking of all the different ways that my parents have loved me during like dim sum, that was definitely the pages in here are definitely a direct reflection of that. And the auntie paying for the meal also, so like very secretly paying for the meal,
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite parts as well.
yeah, that's what I had to resort to because, or else it would just be a downright like fight, which has happened too. But I did just figure out like, oh, I just have to do this behind their back. So you graduated from college and then you wrote this book, or did you always want to be an author? Like, tell me a little bit about how you decided to create, Baby Bao at Dim Sum.
Yeah, so I graduated in the year 2020, which is the height of the pandemic. And with that and all the dim sum restaurants closing down, I felt like I didn't want younger generations to really miss out on the dim sum experience, because it has taught me so much about my parents, my culture, and food is really a huge connection between, I think, my parents and myself, because my Cantonese is so limited in proficiency, I would say. So sometimes it is hard to communicate with my parents, and I think food is a huge connection, and I didn't want younger children to miss out on that. And thus began this book. I went through a lot of iterations, and I wanted to do a children's book because I felt like it was something that kids and their parents could bond over as well, to share in the values of the dim sum experience and the culture behind it. And so I thought a book would be super engaging to do. And yeah, I started in 2020, finally finished in early 2022. So it took me about 2 years to finally get this done, and it's finally out. I'm so happy about that. I did not think that I was going to be a children's book, like children's author.
Yeah.
But
here you are.
Yeah, here I am. Here I am.
And which leads me to my next question, and I'm crossing my fingers that you're working on another project.
I hope to. I do have some ideas in my mind. Like, I would love to create a workbook, and maybe another more of an adventure book with Baby Bao.
Okay.
But we will see. If people are interested, I can give Gisa the link here to everything, where you can sign up for my newsletter about, exclusive updates about future books, and all of that.
Kesia, I'll definitely list I'll list your social media accounts. I'll list your website, and any other ways that families can get in touch with you. And then also, can you tell us, where can families find your book?
Yes, so you can get the Baby Bao at Dim Sum book on Amazon. All you have to do is search up the name Baby Bao at Dim Sum, and you should be able to find it.
Great. And you also sell it on your website, correct?
The website directly links to the Amazon site.
Okay.
But I might open up a sticker shop, because I've seen the popularity of the stickers here that I have included in my Kickstarter.
Wonderful.
Here, they're high quality vinyl stickers, so you can stick them on your laptop, on your water bottle, and you can wash them as well, and they would still have its quality.
Oh my goodness, that's great to know. Yes, I didn't realize that you could wash them too. So that's very versatile.
Yes.
Well, Kesia, thank you so much for making this book and publishing it, and for being on with us today and telling us more about yourself and about the process you went through, and about just the adorable book that you created. And I can't wait for your future projects.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me on here, Gisa. It was so nice meeting you. And I'm sure, I hope the readers really enjoyed this interview as well.
I'm sure they will. And I'm sure they're going to enjoy your book. So don't forget to grab your copy on Amazon. And we'll have you back for your next, when you publish your next book.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you next time. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe to support our channel.